the Rays have done the same thing because they have two aces, and it's really impressive watching these guys pitch. Blake Snell is actually having a down year. He's only got 4 wins, but he's got 98 Ks, a 3.50 ERA, and a 1.10 WHIP. I look for improvement out of Blake Snell, and I would suggest you go out and put a feeler out about how interested the owner of him, of a Blake Snell, might be in trading him, because he's a perfect buy low candidate. I think he's having a great second half of the year. Okay? Now, the other ace that they have, I think, is a sell high candidate, okay, in Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton, you're absolutely right. But you know what? I've seen this song and dance before, okay? Here's a guy in Charlie Morton who he has 8 wins, he's got 98 strikeouts, he's got a 2.10 ERA, and a 1.02 WHIP, all right? Now, those all sound great, and they are great. But fact is, he wears down in July and August. He just does. So, last year for Morton by month. Let's go by month last year for Charlie Morton, okay? Awesome point. He had 201 strikeouts last year, George. That's an amazing point. Unfortunately, I don't have strikeouts in here, but I do want to talk about wins, and I do want to talk about ERAs by month, okay? So, I'll start by saying this. He's 35. He's 35, okay? So, you're absolutely right. I wear it down every day too, okay? But what I'm saying to you is, I think he's purposefully keeping things in the tank for a known playoff run, okay? Just like he did last year in Houston. So what am I talking about? So last year, Charlie Morton, in March and April, was 4-0 with a 1.72 ERA, okay? That's outstanding, right? George says, to be 35 again. So, he followed that up in May by going 3-0 with a 2.90 ERA. Again, outstanding. June, 3-1 with a 3.21 ERA, okay? Now, here's where we start to see things. Last July, he, again, playing on the Astros, a really good team. He was 2-1, granted, but his ERA ballooned up to 4.08, all right? In August, he was 1-1 with a 4.23. And in September and October, he kind of, we got some playoffs to look forward to. He went 2-0, his ERA went back down to 3.00, okay? So my argument is, is Charlie Morton going to kind of save it for the playoffs? Right? Okay? His ERA is going to balloon a little bit, his numbers. If you have Charlie Morton, you can really get a good reel for him right now, okay? So why not sell high on him? Because in all honesty, you don't want him over these next 2 months. What's up, Meckard? Long time no hear. You don't want him for these next 2 months because if he's going to give you a 4.0 ERA, you don't want that, right? Just food for thought. I know every year is not the same, but I look back, I don't have that in front of me. His running stats throughout his career kind of echo that same sentiment, especially since he's kind of come into his own since leaving Pittsburgh. But fact of the matter is, Charlie Morton's a great pitcher. He's on a great team. You're absolutely right. But you think about it, you could get a good deal for Charlie Morton right now. You put his numbers out there right now before he has a couple rocky outings. You can get a good haul for him, right? Okay? So, now, let's break down some split stats for the Rays. Really interesting. I'll start. We'll flip it this time. How about right-handed pitchers? Austin Meadows is at 356 with 10 homers and 25 RBIs versus right-handed pitching. He is someone who's again having an MVP type season. He's going to be expensive, so he's not a DFS plug. When he's righties, you're going to face more righties than you are lefties. So it's not. Avisel Garcia though is hitting 321. With 7 homers and 21 RBIs. So here's a cheap play, right? So if you're putting your DFS lineup in, Avisel Garcia, when he's batting against righties, is having a good year, okay? But here's the important one. When they're playing lefties, These names start to pop up. You hear these guys when you listen to Lenny and Lou and Arnie and these guys in the morning who are giving you these DFS lineups. How about Guillermo Heredia? He's hitting 3 for 48 versus left-handed pitching with 2 homers and 8 RBIs. He's a guy that's probably going to be bottom of the barrel price when you're going to set your DFS lineup. And when he's playing a left-handed pitcher, he's probably going to be in there, and he's going to hit well, right? Yandy Diaz is hitting 333 with 4 homers and 9 RBIs. And Kevin Kiermaier is hitting 327 with a homer and 9 RBIs. So these are guys that you really have to kind of watch when they're facing left-handed pitchers. You want to go ahead. That's easy money when you can get these guys. Kevin Kiermaier and Heredia are going to be dirt cheap, right? So just one more note before we kind of go into some generalities. Back to the Yankees. And I think I'm a one-man fan club. I'll say it right now, and those guys who know me well know I've talked about him. Logan Morrison, watch him, because he's, in Scranton Wilkes-Barre, he's hitting 273, which isn't great, but he's never going to be an average guy, right? But fact of the matter, he's at 9 homers in 95 at-bats. Okay? 9 homers and 95 at-bats with 18 RBI, or 18 runs and 21 RBIs. Look, I'm just really interested in that guy 2 years ago who had, 35, 36 homers. I'm really interested in what happens if they give him a chance and with that short portion right field, right? I'm really interested to see what can happen. I know he had a bad go of it in Minnesota. I think it was more of a bad fit than anything else, okay? Hey, I don't know if Lenny's coming on here. I got a bunch of other stuff. If anyone knows, Cha-Cha, if you know, George, if you know, I would love to know that. But I am going to run down through here high level while we're talking about that. And let's talk about some pickups, okay? I've mentioned a couple. Also, did you like my breakdown of the AL East? Next week I'm going to move into the Central. Again, just trying to get my timing down for how long that takes to do that. I wanted to get 2 in. It looks like it's going to be too long to get 2 in, but I think it's interesting. Division by division, you really have a lot of information to kind of divulge and break down. So, hope you guys liked it. So, enough about that. Let's talk about a few tidbits just while we got a couple moments. Let's talk about some free agent pickups. How about Zach Plesac, guys? He's 45% owned, okay? Carrasco just had that unfortunate news about his blood disorder. It seems like Cleveland can't keep players healthy. At 45% owned, he's had 3 starts. Of course, it's Dan Plesac's son, so he has some pedigree. He understands what it means to pitch in the majors. 3 starts, he's 1-1 with a 1.86 ERA and a 0.88 WHIP. Folks, this is someone who you should look on your list. Again, less than half, 45% in Yahoo. Certainly someone to consider if you need a pitcher. How about Miguel Sano? Miguel Sano, guys, yeah, he has potential to give you average, but he's got 6 homers and 65 at-bats. He's 40% owned. Nephew, sorry. I've heard both. Thank you. I appreciate that. Coming from you, George, I know that is correct. I will begin referring to him as a nephew. Sano, 40% owned in Yahoo, is someone who has 40 home run potential given a full year of at-bats. This year could hit 25 to 30 homers if he's out there, and you need that. Everyone needs that, right? Pick him up. Christian Stewart. Guys, that was the original... So, Christian Stewart, I'm the original Christian Stewart truther. I picked him up back before he got injured, and then had to eat him for about a month, and then dropped him, and now I've picked him back up. Guys, in his past 14 games, Christian Stewart's hitting 378 with 2 homers, 7 runs, and 6 RBIs. Here's a guy, he has the everyday left field starting job. He's hitting in the middle of that lineup. I think you said that last time, George. Christian Stewart's one of the hottest women that has ever lived, according to George. Anyway, Stewart is 2% owned, folks. Go pick him up. They love his bat. His defense is a liability, but who frick cares in fantasy baseball about someone's defense? Unless it's going to take him off the field, which is not going to because the Tigers stink. Okay? I'm going to keep going. As Kevin says, we're going extra innings. I want to go through this stuff and get this information to you. How about Jacoby Jones at 8% owned, folks? In the last month, Jacoby Jones is hitting .349 with 6 homers and 17 RBIs. Now, I'll say this. I talked with Arnie about this at length. I don't think Jacoby Jones' path to playing time is as clear as Christian Stewart's is. That said, Jones is someone who can help you in the meantime. If you need someone for a week or two, Jacoby Jones is your guy. Okay? Now, well, we're not talking about strikeouts though, right? I mean, everybody these days gives you strikeouts, George. Sorry, I just jumped around a little bit on my mouse there. Sounds like a personal problem, I know. So, let's move around. Let's talk a little bit. Here's a guy. Guys, I urge you to pick this guy up. How about Delino DeShields? Folks, Delino DeShields is an established player. I know he's not the flashiest guy, okay? I understand, but his floor, folks, you just can't deny what his floor. He can give you 25 stolen bases with his eyes closed. I mean, he is 3% owned in Yahoo, and since getting the everyday leadoff role, which is only about a week and a half now, he's hitting .379 with 2 stolen bases. Okay, now why am I talking? Why am I talking about Delino DeShields? Guys, stolen bases are a premium. They're just not out there. And you're talking about a guy here, sorry as I try and get to it. You're talking about a guy here who's stolen 20 bases 3 or 4 times during his career. Okay? Here, I got to it finally. As a 22-year-old, he stole 25 bases in 121 games. In 2017, he stole 29 bases, 20 in 2018. Guys, he has 10 already this year. He can steal every bit of 30 bases. Every bit of 30 bases. He's hitting leadoff. It's not even hot in Texas yet, guys. The ball flies out of Ranger Stadium in the summer. You have to go look and see if DeShields is there. I know you guys are skilled. You guys have probably already done this. 3% owned. Steals are hard to get, okay? I love this stuff, guys. Thanks for letting me share. Thanks for letting me go over a little bit. I could maybe do a whole other hour, but I got to go on with Arnie at 9, so I'm not going to do that. How about some more fantasy pickups, though? Some guys who, again, I'm in deep leagues, so these are guys that you're not going to pick up in a 10-team league. You're not going to pick up in a redraft league. But let's talk about Jason Vargas. Yeah, I said it. Jason frickin' Vargas. Remember him in Seattle, though? He was a good pitcher in Seattle, okay? He's 12% owned in Yahoo. He's got a 2-3 record with a 3.57 ERA. All serviceable. 1.35 whip is a little higher than you like. The Ks aren't great, 37 out of 45 innings. But in the last month, he's 1-1 with a 0.86 ERA. A 0.86 ERA, okay? A 1.10 whip and 17 Ks in 21 innings pitched. Guys, you can use that. Oh, Kev, I love hearing that. How about Todd Frazier? Todd Frazier, that Todd Frazier is 5% owned in Yahoo. He's not, you look at his numbers from afar. On the season, he's only hitting .265 with 6 homers. But in the last month, It's a good sample size. Todd Frazier's hitting .322. 4 homers and 16 runs.